All right, if you watched the last video, I told you that was the end of the lesson, but there was still one more question. So our last question here says evaluate, and then they've got fractions. So when you are evaluating a power on a fraction, if I try to do this on my calculator, if I do 3 divided by 5 and then to the power of 4, I get a decimal. And I don't want a decimal, I want a fraction. So when you're dealing with fractions and exponents, the exponent applies to everything inside the bracket. So we're going to have 3 to the power of 4, and we're also going to have 5 to the power of 4, right? So this is the same as 3 to the power of 4 over 5 to the power of 4. Now, if you're dying to know why, if I think about 3 over 5 to the power of 4, that means it's 3 over 5 times 3 over 5 times 3 over 5 times 3 over 5. So we are multiplying 3/5 by itself 4 times. So when you multiply fractions, you do numerator times numerator and then denominator times denominator. So we're going to end up doing 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is the same thing as 3 to the power of 4. And we're going to end up doing 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, which is 5 to the power of 4. And then from here, I am just going to use my calculator. Now, we already evaluated 3 to the power of 4, and I'm pretty sure it's 81, but I'm going to try it anyway. So 3 to the power of 4. If you don't have a scientific calculator, you can do 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then I'm going to evaluate 5 to the power of 4. And I get 625. So my final fraction is 81 over 625. Now I'm going to try the next one. I have 1/4, 1/4, 1 over 4 to the power of 5. So I could multiply this by itself 5 times. That seems like a lot of extra work. This is really just 1 to the power of 5 divided by 4 to the power of 5. Now, I could do 1 to the power of 5 on my calculator, but we just talked in the previous video about how anything, 1 to the power of anything is just 1. So that does equal 1 on the top. And then on the bottom, 4 to the power of 5 is 1,024. All right, we have one more question. 10 over 7 to the power of 6. So that means we're doing 10 to the power of 6 and 7 to the power of 6. So our little shortcut we had for tens is that the exponent tells you how many zeros there should be. So this should be a 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. But if you're not sure, you could try it on your calculator. So 10 to the power of 6, there's a 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And then 7 to the power of 6, I don't have a shortcut for that. That is 117,649. And that's how you evaluate exponents with fractions.